FFXII commentary number 329. Jimbob Lead has sent in Final Fantasy XII. That's what I'm talking about. That's got to be the remastered motherfucker in this shit, because I think they just launched that motherfucker. See, this is the kind of shit that I'm talking about, man. We just had Final Fantasy X not too long ago. I remember I got Final Fantasy VIII. Now I got to go through all these games and figure out which Final Fantasy games I've done. But anyway, this part of the whole... this is not even a challenge. I already did all the trivia questions. I think this was, Jimbob actually hit 100 posts on Prestige Gamers. He's like, oh, fuck it, I can send in whatever I want. So he came up with this. Final Fantasy XII, probably the most underrated Final Fantasy game that's ever come out. This was a fantastic game once you got used to it. Oh, man, the game, once you learn the Gambit system, you kind of got the game. But if you didn't get the Gambit system, if you didn't like the Gambit system, then you were kind of fucking annoyed by this shit. I know he's in the woods. I forgot this fucking thing. But anyway, he's got to run around these whole woods, whatever the hell basically he's trying to get out of this motherfucker. I see he's got Larsa with him, and Larsa's really under level, so you must have done a lot of fucking side quests before you got up to this shit. That's the only way I can explain this motherfucker. Oh, he's gonna fight a bomb in this bitch, man. Anyway, when it came to this game, when it came out, I loved playing Final Fantasy XII, and it got a lot of flack because Final Fantasy X was probably what a lot of people consider one of the best Final Fantasies that you've ever had, you know, mainly for the ending in this motherfucker. There you see all that shit that you have there, the gambits. What the gambits are is it tells the computer players this is how you're going to be able to play certain functions. So you're going to have to, you know, fight this part. If you're under a certain amount of health, then you got to heal this motherfucker, and then you got to shoot this guy, use this power. It gives you a whole bunch of options on how you set up fighting your AI characters, plus your own characters. So basically, you don't have to do shit. That's essentially what you could do. However, the reason why people didn't like it is because essentially it took a little bit of programming knowledge. Not a lot, but it took some rudimentary programming knowledge to know, do this if this happens, do this if this occurs. So if you got your gambits down correctly, if you knew how to program those shits, then you obviously had a much easier time playing this game. Your AI characters were a lot smarter. But if you waited on those shits, if you didn't know what the fuck you were doing, if you didn't set them up right, then you'd have a much harder time trying to fight this motherfucker, especially if you were trying to control all the characters in this bitch. But anyway, getting into this game, why it got so much flack all those years ago. Final Fantasy X was a fantastic game. There's no question about it. It has its flaws, it's very linear, but otherwise, the story was pretty good. Final Fantasy XII was a little confusing at the start because it seemed like there was this whole world in the game and they really didn't explain what led up to this point. So there was this grand war that was happening behind the scenes, and they just kind of pick a little part of that shit. and they kind of, you know, throw these characters in this motherfucker. The main character, Vaughn, this asshole that you're looking at who got like the Spaz 12 shotgun. So this guy is probably the most annoying fucking character they've ever had as a main character in a goddamn game. Now I've said it plenty of times, they've had some annoying fucking Final Fantasy characters in this game. This one is the all-time biggest douchebag. This guy was fucking useless. There's no way around that. You had... What was that motherfucker? You had Emo Squall in part number 8. You had, God, I'm gonna forget his fucking name. What was it? Shit, the motherfucker with the tail. You know, Zidane. You had Zidane in part 9. He was cool. He didn't have too many emo tendencies. Then you had that whiny fuck Titus in 10. Then you had this whiny fuck. I mean, I thought the other guys were whiny. This guy served absolutely no purpose in the game other than they wanted a blonde without a shirt. That's it. Him and Pinello serve absolutely no fucking purpose to this game whatsoever. None. You could have had, what's her name? The princess, Ash. Ash could have been the main character of this game, and no, they didn't do that. Baltier, however you pronounce his fucking name, he could have been, you know, the leading guy or whatever the hell it was. Bosch could have been a good choice for a leading character. No. They chose this son of a bitch, and he was kind of fucking useless. So that's the real big knock that I completely agree with when it comes to this game. But otherwise, the gameplay mechanics were pretty good. The idea behind the hunts were pretty good, and a lot of games, they got that from other games, and then other games took the idea from them. Sort of Final Fantasy 15 really expanded on that logic. And the gameplay wasn't bad, it was just you had to know what you were doing. The one thing that I will say was also sort of a little bit of a knock on it, and he's playing the International Edition, or the Zodiac Edition, sorry, the Zodiac Edition had more options, was that once you filled up the chessboard, y'all know what I'm talking about, the rank up board? Those who play the game know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. But once you fill that shit up with every character, essentially they all fought the same. So Vaughn and Fran and Ash, they all had pretty much the same powers once you finish ranking them all up. There was no differentiation of powers. There was no white mage, red mage, there was no attacker, there was no dragoon. They didn't have all the set roles that you would normally see in other Final Fantasy games. So by the time you got to the end of your chessboard, they could all use the same weapons, they could all use the same powers, whatever the fuck it is. And why are you taking so goddamn long to beat this fucking bomb? What the fuck? Is he keeps healing himself. You clearly didn't set your gambits up right. So the only reason why this shit is taking so goddamn long is because you fucked your shit up. This guy should have been beaten real fucking quick. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. That's why this shit is a fucking 10-minute video, because you didn't know how to fight this motherfucker. You set your gambits up wrong or something. That's the only way I can explain this shit. But anyway, once you get to the end of that chessboard, the rank up chessboard, all the characters essentially feel the same. And now everybody's dead. Really? Oh, so now you gotta bring in the backups. So, you brought in... Oh, man, why? I don't get it. You don't know how to play this shit. Not for nothing, man. You're probably playing this shit for the first time, so I really don't give a fuck. But anyway, when you get into... Oh, you really? You have to bring this shit out? Alright. So, there you go. Now you gotta fight off the superpowers and shit like that. So like I was saying... You know, I like when they bring out the summons. The summons are the best part of this shit. No, so like I was saying, when you get to the end of the chessboard, every character feels the same. This Zodiac version, though, improved on that. Because instead of one chessboard for everybody has their own, but it's essentially the same piece. Now there are 12. And all the 12 lead to some kind of different skill power. And I believe that you can pick 2 per character, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right? Those who are playing the game, I planned on getting this, but we'll talk about that in a second. But I believe you could get 2 per character. So essentially you could do all 12 if you want this time on a character. And then once you do all 12, then you can figure out, okay, you know, I want this character to be the mage and the dragoon. I want this person to be my healer and the thief, or whatever it is. This person can use the heavy weapons and this person can use the guns. You get me on that one? So it allowed a little bit more flexibility, so the characters essentially don't all feel the same when it comes to the end of the game. Now, as far as me not getting the remaster, I'll tell you right now, I really thought about it. I really wanted it. I was playing Mass Effect stupidly. I was playing that shit and it was pretty fucking terrible, whatever the hell it is, and you're seriously just fucking milking this shit, man. Damn. So essentially, I was gonna get it, and then I saw the price of a remaster. I'm like, yeah, why am I gonna do that? That just doesn't make sense. I don't understand why I'm gonna spend all that money for the remastered version. Lower the damn price. You come down in price, which it'll come down in like next year or some shit like that. Yeah, then I'll get it. I'll add it to the collection. I'll do some shit. But as far as paying this price now, I was like, no, I don't think about that shit. I'll save my money. I'll save my money for Final Fantasy VII. I'll save that for the remaster joint, because they're doing that shit from the ground up. And then you give me the remaster shit from the beginning. Oh yeah, I'll play that motherfucker. But you're just gonna, you know, give me some better graphics and give me the same fucking game? No, you do the whole thing over from scratch. Yeah, then I'll give you full price in that motherfucker, man. So anyway, now that we've done this, I'm trying to figure out which games I've done for Final Fantasy. I'm pretty sure I did Final Fantasy 13. At the very least, I did Final Fantasy 13 on my own channel. Final Fantasy 15 was done. This is 12. 11 and 14 are online games, so maybe I guess I could do the online ones. He still ain't fucking dead? Damn, this is the forever boss fight. Ain't nobody got a goddamn ice or water power? What the fuck? That's why you fucked this shit up, man, because the motherfucker, he's weak to ice or water. And you basically fought him just straight up with physical attacks, and he's sort of, you know, not immune to it, but he's resistant to that shit. That's why he got all fucked up in this shit. It took you fucking forever. And look, now he's basically a goddamn Christmas tree ornament that's ready to explode. No, but anyway, so I've done 12. I haven't done 11 and 14. 10? Was 10? Yeah, 10 was just done on my channel, because I remember I was doing the Anima. I remember when he was fighting off on some shit with Belgiumine. Then you had... Now, has 9 been done? I don't know if 9's been done. 8's certainly been done. 7? I don't think 7's been done. I would save 7 until the remaster, but 7 certainly hasn't been done. All the original ones on Nintendo, they certainly haven't been done. So if people want to send in some Final Fantasy, oh, I'll definitely be happy with that shit. I could talk about me some Final Fantasy for some hours in this motherfucker. So anyway, there's the end of Jimbob's video. I don't know why it took him fucking 10 minutes just to beat a bomb or whatever. He just wanted some footage for Final Fantasy 12. As always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit. Like I said, this is the last Hipfire commentary I'm going to do for now. I'm going to restart them once Destiny comes out, and then I'm going to have a whole bunch more videos coming in the future.